Alright, hey there. Welcome to the Definitive Decision Guide to Autoresponders 2018. Here in video number 1, we're going to be taking a look inside of MailChimp, which is an example of our cloud-based solution that you read in your guide. Look inside MailIt plugin, which is a good example of a self-hosted solution. It's actually a plugin that runs on WordPress. We're going to take a look inside My MailIt, which is currently in beta. It's not for sale, but should be soon, which is a hybrid-based solution, about how you read in your guide. So the self-hosted based solution and the hybrid-based solution, those are solutions that are going to require you to set up and understand how to configure your SMTP hosting solution or gateway, either with your hosting company or a third-party SMTP provider. Alright, so without further ado, let's take a look inside MailChimp to start off. So here we've logged into MailChimp, right? We just went to MailChimp.com, and then you provide your credentials. If you don't have an account, you can set one up for free. And once you're inside, you'll see it's just like any other web page. You have to go in and figure it out. You're going to be able to set up your campaigns here. Create a campaign. Here you can see I actually have a campaign called Newsletter 1. This is actually for a site that I have called shopdealcity.com. Currently not in use. That's why there's nothing here to look at. But anyway, this is just to give you a quick idea of what the interface in MailChimp looks like compared to the other solutions. So like I said, this is your typical cloud-based solution. So you have your options, set up your campaigns, your templates. You'll be able to have your list here where you actually store your contacts. So you'll be able to set up your contacts here, create sign-up forms. Right? You had embedded forms. They even have some subscriber pop-up forms. MailChimp also has a couple plugins that integrate with it real well that allow you to do those kind of type of things. So you can manage your contacts, look at your stats. You can add contacts manually. That's if you have a list currently from a different source and you want to upload them. So, like I said, you can copy and paste from a file, right? You can also upload from other have integrated services, Google Contacts, Salesforce, Zendesk, and more. Like I said, I mean, this is your typical cloud-based solution where you hop right in and you just start building. You start building places to start building repositories to hold your contacts that are going to be in your list. You start building your campaigns and your templates. And this is all going to be automated inside of this user interface, and you just go through here and step by step build it out. And then once your customers sign up through your contact forms, you have automated emails, and they start to be delivered. And there's a nice little report section here as well, and you could go through all that. Once again, MailChimp is free to sign up. And if from your guide, your guide has explained to you how many users you can have before you actually have to start paying for MailChimp. So let's go ahead and hop over to the MailIt WordPress plugin. Now, as I said in the guide, this is going to be self-hosted. So this is a website that I own, mailer.co.business, and it's running WordPress. And this actually is a plugin right here, My MailIt plugin. So you install this plugin just like you would any other WordPress plugin. And then once you get it installed, you'll see that you have access to it. It's going to have a dashboard here where you can actually set up your subscribers. And it's going to talk, it's like a dashboard just with statistics, just like in MailChimp. You're going to be able to set up lists, just like in MailChimp, right? You get to create your list. You're going to be able to manually upload your subscribers or add them, right? Or as well, you can integrate this into forms, all that kind of thing. Here you'll be able to set up messages, just like in MailChimp as well. This even has a limited autoresponder, right? So it's like it says here, autoresponders are emails that automatically get sent when someone signs up for your list. They are not triggered by imports. So you should create only one autoresponder per list. If you create more than one, only the last one will be sent out. So it's a limitation of the self-hosted setting, the self-hosting plugin. It's going to be limited. And here's the thing that I wanted to show you, get into the actual settings. Here is where, when you're dealing with a self-hosted autoresponder like MyMailIt and others as well that are in the actual definitive guide, you're going to actually have to get into the weeds in your SMTP configuration. You're going to have to be able to figure out where your SMTP host is. You're going to have to know ports, your usernames, assign all your passwords. You're going to have to understand where you're sending email from. You're going to have to be able to understand how you're going to set up an SMTP reply to email. You have to change your sender name, and you're going to have things like bounce email, bounce tolerances. You're going to have to be able to throttle your email because, like, for example, this plugin is actually using the SMTP, right, hosting server for my website, mailer.co.business. So I've actually connected this to, right here, I've actually connected this to mailer.co.business. I've connected it to their SMTP server. So my hosting, I've actually had to connect this. So I think that I just wanted to make sure that it's very clear from when you read the guide and I gave you these details that this is the kind of thing that you will have to do. Now, the important thing to remember is that you control this. Unlike within MailChimp, they're going to set all these settings and they're going to control all this for you. So it's good in a way that you have control over it. It's also very detailed and it's a lot more intensive when it comes to another thing that you have to set up. So whereas in MailChimp you're only worried about setting up your list, getting your subscribers, doing your autoresponders, and being able to set your forms up, well, within this case you have to actually go through and know a lot more technical details. Alright, so again, that is the self-hosted plugin solution. So let's hop over to the cloud version of this, which is called MyMailIt, which is actually made by the same vendor. Now, once again, this is the cloud-based version, so you actually will go to mymailit.com just like you went to mailchimp.com before. Because it is a cloud-based solution, you will log into the cloud, and once you log in, you will have all the same kind of things where you can set up lists, subscribers, you can set up sequences, which are like campaigns in MailChimp. You'll have other tools in here, you know, most likely where you can configure pop-ups and other things that will happen just like in MailChimp. But the key here is this is a hybrid solution, meaning it's in the cloud, but just like your self-hosted plugin solution, you will be responsible for connecting to an SMTP, all right, a simple mail transfer protocol service, either using, for example, I could go back and I could use those same settings that I used in my MailIt plugin. I could use those here as long as I understand the credentials and I know how to connect to it. Or I could get a third-party SMTP provider, right? Just like the guide said, a whole list of those. Because the thing is the important thing is, like, for example, throttling. Just to cover this real quick, when you have to throttle the amount of emails you sent, you have to do this because your SMTP hosting service, right, they have the ability to send emails based upon the fact that you have a website, right? You're hosting your WordPress website on that hosting service. So there's going to be times where that WordPress is going to need to communicate with you, or you're going to need to communicate with it via email. So they've given you a limited ability, and they allow you to send a limited amount of emails on a regularly scheduled basis. And this is all about into, you know, getting into spam and controlling spam and making sure that nothing, you know, bad is going on and you don't harm their IP address and get shut down, right? So again, you have to understand and take time to worry about these throttling settings and conditions to make sure you're in compliance with all these spam laws. Whereas if you use MailChimp, they're going to take care of that for you. But again, when you using MailChimp, right, they will take care of it for you, but that also means that you are at the mercy of MailChimp and the other subscribers. So whatever they do wrong, it counts against you as well. And there's no way they can fix that for you. So anyway, there you go. That's a quick look inside of a pure cloud-based solution like MailChimp, which, as in your guide, it mentioned is free up to a certain number of subscribers. This is a self-hosted solution where you actually load it up on your actual WordPress server on the domain that you have and you control. And then this is a hybrid, which is a cloud-based solution, so you can store your email list in the cloud, right? So you have your email list, your contacts up in the cloud, but then you're going to actually have to have that SMTP configuration done. You're going to have to do this yourself. So all right. So again, here we have covered, we took a look inside MailChimp, which is a cloud-based solution, a look inside the Mail It plugin, which is a self-hosted solution on WordPress, and then we also took a look inside the My Mail It hybrid-based solution. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you later.